एवरीवेयर नाउ इंटेलिजेंस वर्क्स, इंटेलिजेंट होंगे तभी आप कुछ कर पाएंगे, ऐसा मानना है। और इंटेलिजेंट लोग भी कुछ, मैंने पहले आपको ब्रीफ किया था, तो इंटेलिजेंट लोग भी बहुत कुछ कर जाते हैं, नहीं क्वालिफिकेशन होने के बावजूद भी बहुत कुछ कर जाते हैं, करते नहीं। बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स ऐसे हैं आपको कि जिन्होंने बीटेक नहीं किया या अच्छी डिग्री नहीं ली लेकिन आज बड़े-बड़े इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट हैं, जो है क्योंकि इंटेलिजेंस है, उनके पास मैनेजमेंट है। तो इसमें अभी ज्यादा डीप में नहीं जाऊंगा, तो एक जिज्ञासा जो कार्यक्रम है हमारा जब वी आर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग, so we have जिज्ञासा, so this is scientific social responsibility, what we is what we determine. So according to this, what we have to do, and NEERI has to do that, we have to inculcate scientific temper among masses. तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एक ऐसा टॉपिक है जिसको हम गवर्नमेंट को भी लगता है, सभी को लगता है कि आपके शायद करिकुलम में भी आ चुका है, ये आने वाला होगा। मैडम है कि इसमें आपके इसमें भी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस अभी कुछ गवर्नमेंट ने किया है ना कि आपके करिकुलम में सिर्फ बेसिक कुछ डाला है, ज्यादा मैंने पढ़ा था कहीं। सर बेसिक चीज में कुछ है उनको आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस कॉन्सेंट्रेट है, सीबीएसई स्कूल्स में है ही, स्टेट में है कि नहीं पता नहीं, है ना सर आपके में। तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस नया कॉन्सेप्ट है और इसमें हम चाहते हैं कि इसको आप लोग समझें। तो आज हमने एक लेक्चर ऑर्गेनाइज किया है इसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, नेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस का टॉपिक है। और आप देख रहे होंगे कि यूएस, आप जब इंडेक्स रैंक देखते हैं तो यूएस बहुत टॉप कर रहा है एआई में, आपने पढ़ा है कहीं ना के लिए। तो ये काफी चीजें उसने आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में काफी इंप्लीमेंट करना शुरू कर दिया। तो ऑब्वियसली इंडिया को भी करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि जब हम कंपटीशन देखते हैं कॉम्पिटिटिव मार्केट में, तो हमें भी इस तरह की चीजें, तो यहाँ से शुरुआत हो चुकी है। और आपने चैट जीपीटी वगैरह सुना है? अच्छा, मतलब आपने आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, मतलब आपको मालूम है कि क्या होता है, क्या है मशीन लर्निंग वगैरह, तो सुना है आपने? सर बताएंगे मेरे ख्याल से सर्विस में। तो ये जो चीजें हैं, तो आज हमने आपके लिए खासकर जो सर यहाँ पे 3 स्कूल्स हैं और उनके लिए हमने आज ऑर्गेनाइज किया, बाकी में भी 10वीं के स्कूल्स हैं। तो हम चाहते हैं कि आप आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के कॉन्सेप्ट को आज अच्छी तरह से समझें कि क्या है, हमारे एवरीडे लाइफ में, हमारे डेली लाइफ में कैसे है, और इसके तमाम। तो सर जो है मैं सर का ब्रीफ में आपको बायोडाटा बताऊंगा। हमारे यहाँ बहुत जो व्यस्त समय में से आज हमारे यहाँ निकाल के आए हैं समय, तो सर बी है बीआरसी से, जो पहले वीएनआईटी के प्रोफेसर है, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर, और पहले जो है ये वीएनआईटी बीआरसी था, रीजनल कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग। बाद में ये वीएनआईटी हुआ। आप में से जो जेई हो सकता है, बहुत से कैंडिडेट जो है वो क्वालिफाई करेंगे, हो सकता है वीएनआईटी में आए और कंप्यूटर साइंस इंजीनियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट में आए और सर आपके प्रोफेसर रहे, ये भी हो सकता है, ये नोट लो, है ना। कल चल के क्या होने वाला पता नहीं, तो सर से आज ही आप इंटरेक्ट कर लीजिए, आज ही पहचान कर लीजिए सर से, क्योंकि डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ कंप्यूटर साइंस और इंजीनियरिंग के प्रोफेसर है वो, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर वीएनआईटी के, और उनके इंटरेस्ट है थ्योरेटिकल कंप्यूटर साइंस, सिस्टम्स बायोलॉजी और मशीन लर्निंग। जैसा मैंने आपको बिगिनिंग में बताया कि एक ही सब्जेक्ट में सभी का नॉलेज होना चाहिए। सर को पूछ लीजिएगा कि कंप्यूटर साइंस का भी एप्लीकेशन बायोलॉजी या फिर केमिस्ट्री या फिर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, हर चीज में अगर आप उसको इंटीग्रेट करना चाहेंगे या रिलेट करना चाहेंगे तो उसके मायने बदल जाते हैं, है ना। तो सर ने बायोइन्फॉर्मेटिक्स में भी काम किया है काफी, है ना। बायोइन्फॉर्मेटिक्स सुना है क्या होता है? बायोइन्फॉर्मेटिक्स काफी अच्छा रोल है। तो बायोइन्फॉर्मेटिक्स में आप डेटा जनरेट करते हैं, है ना। तो चाहे किसी भी फील्ड का हो, तो बायो मतलब बायोलॉजी, तो कंप्यूटर साइंस का उपयोग उसमें मैं जो समझता हूँ सर, गलत नहीं हो तो बायोलॉजी का जो इसमें डेटा है, मॉलिक्यूलर बायोलॉजी और बायोटेक्नोलॉजी हो, तो उसमें कंप्यूटर साइंस की इंजीनियरिंग उसमें अप्लाई करके उसको डेटा जनरेट करते हैं, जो यूजफुल होता है कि किसी एप्लीकेशंस के लिए, चाहे मेडिकल फील्ड हो, एग्रीकल्चर फील्ड हो या फिर एनवायरमेंटल फील्ड हो। तो बहुत सारी इस तरह की चीजें जो है, आप एक सब्जेक्ट को, एक इंजीनियरिंग डिसिप्लिन को दूसरे से इंटीग्रेट करते हैं, तो आप उसको नया एक इनोवेटिव क्रिएटिविटी देते हैं। तो कंप्यूटर साइंस ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कंप्यूटर का मतलब कंप्यूटर ले लिया और लैपटॉप ले लिया, मोबाइल, यही कोई डिवाइसेस है, इसके एप्लीकेशंस आती है क्यों? कंप्यूटर में भी आप अलग अलग प्रोग्रामिंग करते हैं, अलग अलग चीजें करते हैं, तो उसका एप्लीकेशन आता है। तो मेडिकल साइंस में जाएगा तो उसका एप्लीकेशन अलग होगा, एनवायरमेंटल में आएंगे तो उसका एप्लीकेशन अलग होगा, या इलेक्ट्रिकल में जाएंगे तो उसका एप्लीकेशन अलग होगा। मतलब बहुत सारी इस तरह से चीजें, लेकिन डिफेंस में जाएंगे जैसा कि इसरो में चल रहे हैं, उसमें कंप्यूटर इंजीनियरिंग है नहीं, उसका एप्लीकेशन उन्होंने स्पेस को किया। तो इस तरह की जो सरकार है, मतलब कहने का मतलब को डेवलप करके, तो सर का काफी अच्छा काम है इस फील्ड में, और मैं ज्यादा अभी सर के बताऊंगा नहीं, तो मैंने आपको जो कोशिश जो बता दी, तो सर को मैं सीधा आमंत्रित करता हूँ मंच पे, और आप अभी सर का जो लेक्चर है वो ध्यान से सुनेंगे, और आपने जो है डाउट्स क्लियर है, तो सर आप बीच में क्लियर कराएंगे कि बाद में, आप जैसा बोलेंगे। बीच में चलेगा, बीच में भी आप सर बोल रहे हैं इंटरेक्ट करने के लिए फ्री है, तो आप हाथ उठाइएगा, तो हम आपको इंटरेक्ट करवाएंगे, हमारे रिप्रेजेंटेटिव रहेंगे माइक के साथ, तो आप इंटरेक्ट कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। तो मैं फॉर्मली जो है सर का वेलकम करता हूँ। सर एक फोटो म्हणून सॉरी है म्हणजे हम बोला चष्मा थैंक यू सर। डायरेक्टर हमारे डॉक्टर अतुल वैद्य हैं, वो भी जस्ट गॉन टू बजरी डे फॉर सम प्रोजेक्ट, बट ही विल बी जॉइनिंग शॉर्टली, तो सर तब तक अपना लेक्चर शुरू कर देंगे, ठीक है सर, काइंडली रिक्वेस्ट। Okay, so good morning, all of you. Good morning, sir. So, what we'll be doing is that we'll be talking about artificial intelligence. And when we are talking about artificial intelligence, so artificial intelligence is basically a new, you can say, not new field. So we go into the history of it, but it is having newer applications nowadays. And so, English is fine? Yes. Or Hindi? Yes. How many for English? How many for Hindi? Okay, we go for English. So, thank you very much. So, the thing is that now artificial intelligence has found a lot of newer applications. And because of which it has come to forefront of it. What I have done is that I have put up a presentation and which I will explain to you how artificial intelligence has evolved in now. What are the bottlenecks, what are the research ideas, okay, and how it will evolve further, okay, and what as students you can also do, or you can, so you can now, the idea is that once you have gone through this lecture, you will have enough information that you can debate about artificial intelligence. Okay?
So this is it is it is not a presentation which is specifically for understanding, but it is a presentation which you can use for understanding, for debating, for analyzing. Okay? So I hope we'll be able to reach it. So at times this presentation might look a bit complex to understand, a bit difficult to understand. Please raise your hands and ask questions. Okay, don't hesitate. Okay, fine. So let's start. So these are the contents. Okay, and so we'll see what is artificial intelligence. Okay. So what is an artificial intelligence? So if you see, so it is a science and engineering, okay, both science and engineering of making intelligent machines. Okay, and it is focused mainly as of now on making intelligent computer programs. Okay, so it is related to the similar task of using computers to understand human intelligence. Okay, so we want to understand the human intelligence. And now, because we are using machines, we don't need to be constrained by the biological observation. Okay. In other words, intelligence is the computational part of the ability to achieve goals in the world. Okay, let me explain this in simple terms. So, what we are trying to do with artificial intelligence is that we are trying to build human-like abilities in machines. So, the thought processes that humans have. Okay. So in 1985, a definition was given that said the existing new effort to make computers things, machines with minds in the full and literal sense. Okay. And you can have as a behavioral one that the study of how to make computers do things at which at the moment people are better. Okay. Fair enough? Right? So we want to build in thought processes in it, we want to build in the behavior. Okay. Let's go ahead. So the phrase artificial intelligence was coined by McCarthy, Professor McCarthy in 1955. It's not new area, if you remember. It's quite old. Okay. And Professor Vidyasagar, who is in IIT Hyderabad, uh, he has a very different take on it. So artificial, in his words, in artificial intelligence refers to the technology of enabling computers to perform tasks that had previously been difficult for machines, though quite easy for humans. Okay. So artificial intelligence is trying to do things that are difficult for machines earlier. Okay. But humans for easier. This excludes pure numerical computations. Okay. So if you remove the numerical computations, but includes the tasks such as image and speech recognition, game playing, and heuristic reasoning. So earlier, the computers were not very good at image recognition. The computers were not good at game playing, but now they are. And this is all due to artificial intelligence. So we are going through a lot of definitions, but it is not clear what it is, what exactly it is. Okay, so we'll see what exactly it is. So don't get fret by the definitions now. We'll see it more visually what it means. Okay, so AI is a field of study which comprises of multiple disciplines. It's not confined to computer science. Okay, so obviously it has computer science, but it has other things. Like what is cognitive science? What is psychology? It has philosophy, it has linguistic, it has neuroscience. It has different fields put together to build AI. So it's a multidisciplinary. AI is part science, part engineering. Okay. So you have to have mathematical basis for the reasons you use AI or for the reasons that AI will work. So it has a lot of mathematics in it. Okay. And AI impact typically is not seen directly. Okay. So with other CS applications, you can see the impact directly. Like for example, earlier you used to go and shop. Now also you do that. But Amazon, Flipkart has enabled buying online, right? So you can see this direct impact. But the advertisements that Google shows you when you do search, right? You don't know how it comes. And you are looking for something and exactly that is shown. Right? So that is artificial intelligence. So its impact is not seen directly, but it enables certain things without your direct influence. That is where AI comes. Okay. So this I am showing you a cartoon which appeared in the 1923 newspaper. Okay. In 1923, they predicted a cartoon dynamo. Dynamo was the machine. Online. So sorry for the disruption. नहीं पण ऐकत नाही यार नाही ऐकत मग ठेवतो आता हो हो ऑनलाईनचा इश्यू आहे ऑनलाईन फुल स्क्रीन करने पे नहीं फुल स्क्रीन छोड़ दो यहाँ से हो हाँ फुल स्क्रीन होने के बाद मेरे ख्याल से इसको दूसरे इसको शेयर करना ऐसे रहना शायद से इसमें से ये नहीं करेगा so इसलिए ये रहेगा So this is the 1923 cartoon that predicted cartoon dynamo. That is a machine. Name is cartoon dynamo that will create cartoon art automatically in 2020. And now today we have doll E. I don't know if you have heard that. It's like ChatGPT, which creates ChatGPT everyone knows, right? Similarly, there is doll E. There are many such softwares which have come out. Which now doll E creates the images. So what is how is so here in AI has been inspired by human brains. Okay, so you see sometimes even what we feel that a science which is very you just study how it is. Like in biology, you study whatever is there, you study like that. But if you see human brains, for that matter, brains have evolved for millions of years. Okay, and this is one of the very good model which allows to store things, analyze things, retrieve things, right? So why not use the same model? Okay, so computer scientists studied how biologically neurons are connected in the brain. You know everyone that brain has neurons, right? And then similar structure was designed and it is called as neural networks. Okay, and one of the major things, like whatever the chat GPT runs on, is it runs on neural networks. If it is similar structure that human brain has. Okay, so in AI we wish to simulate human brain with computers. Okay, now it is opposite. We are applying biology to computer science. Okay, so biology is now applied to computer science. Okay, our hope is that brain is like a computer, digital. Okay, and our goal is to create computer intelligence or AI by programming which is similar to the activity of learning for intelligence. Why do we learn? To gain intelligence. Right? You become more intelligent when you learn. So similarly, can we do programming so that computers artificially learn? AI then gets generated. Okay? We obviously know that computers does tasks without understanding. The question is, does brain perform this task without understanding? Okay? So there's a lot of research going on what is thinking, what is consciousness, what is I, who am I? Okay? AI assumes that we can model cognition without understanding. Okay? That's a big assumption. It says that you can bring in cognition, that is understanding, without understanding the underlying mechanism, and it will arise out of computation. This is a big assumption. Okay, so just by doing computation, you will feel who am I, or consciousness is arise, which may or may not be true. Nobody knows. So how does the human brain and AI compare as of now? So human brain works on chemical transmitters. These are called as neurotransmitters. They travel and also electrical signals. So they travel around 1,000 feet per second. Whereas computers purely work on electrons, which travel at the speed of light. Memory, human brains, roughly 100 billion neurons, about 50 trillion bits of memory can be stored. Okay. Whereas top supercomputers of today are approaching this memory. Each neuron is connected to 1,000 other neurons, roughly, plus minus give and take. And but in these computers, you can, as of now, you can connect one processor to 100 different processors. Okay. So we are closing the gap with human brain. So a computer can definitely do some things better than a humans can, right? If you want to add 1,000 4-digit numbers, it can be done in less than a second. Okay. Drawing complex 3D images, you see that you can draw these images on the softwares available. All architects use the softwares for designing. That can be done very fast. Okay. There are very less errors. Store and retrieve massive amounts of data, right? So now this is online. So much data is getting transmitted. There is data coming from this camera, there is data coming from this presentation, there is data coming from this speech, these microphones. Everything is captured. There's a lot of information getting transferred, right? Whereas this humans can't do. If you want to explain this scene itself, it will take so much time, right? Okay. However, as of now, there are things that humans can do much better. That given an image, you can know that this is a sun and not a yellow ball. The computers find it very difficult because there is no context. Expert advice, like you go to a doctor, right? The doctor is an expert, right? So you come to an expert, and expert advice is given. I am called as an expert here, but soon this gap is closing, and few years down the line, you might see that the presentation will be given by a robot. You don't need an expert. Okay, this will happen. This will happen not in a distant future, but we are all going to see it 2-3 years down the line. So, how does this brief history of AI look like? So, the first computational model was proposed by Alan Turing, which was called as the Turing machine, and that was done in 1936. Okay? Still 100 years to go for that. Turing test was designed in 1950. What is that? We'll see soon. 1951, Minsky built the first neural network. Okay, this was inspired by biology, right? Then 1956, Dartmouth conference was held where all the people who worked in artificial intelligence were called together. This was where the name artificial intelligence was coined, 1956. The first general problem solver was designed in 1961, and 1969 to 79, you can see that this was the age of expert systems. What is an expert system? Will come very soon. 80 to 85, AI enters industry, but it is difficult as it requires a lot of computing power and memory. Okay, and we'll see a slide on this as well later. So just remember that 85 to 95 is AI winter because no viable application can be seen which can be monetized. Right? Something has to be monetized. Monetized meaning that if somebody should pay for that, how will companies work? Because companies have people who will take salaries. If you want to employ people, then you have to have something that that company will produce that somebody will buy. Otherwise, there will be no people, there will be no AI. Right? So there was no product, good product. So AI funding was down, and because of which this years 10 to 12, 15 years are called as AI winter. So nothing happened during that. Not much progress happened. Then slowly again, the computing and memory started getting more cheaper, and we saw a new emergence of AI, which was actually the old AI, but now in a new vigor we saw. Okay. I will share this presentation with you. So I think you don't have to just see a lot of information is there. I'll share this. 2015, another 15 years later, there was a lot of activity which happened in machine learning. In there were new technologies, old technologies, with new applications like HMM, Info. You just read these names, but these were new lot of technologies which came into force. And AI defeated Gary Kasparov. Gary Kasparov was the world champion, and we'll see a video of that. Okay, and AI defeated him. And AI also win in Jeopardy in that. 2015 to 2025, that is the year time that we are seeing that AlphaGo defeated the Go champion. Go is a much more complex game than Jeopardy or chess, and AlphaGo defeated her. And now we are seeing the age of LLMs, large language models. ChatGPT is one example. Chatbots, ChatGPT is example of LLM, large language models. Okay. So it's a system. The language models are made, and then you give a question and you give an answer. It's the age of autonomous vehicles, and this is possible because graphical processing units, tensor processing units, GPU and TPU. These are becoming ubiquitous. 2025 and beyond, we'll see AI will become ubiquitous. It will touch many parts of our lives. Okay? So let's come to what is a Turing test. So in 1950, Alan Turing devised a test for intelligence called as the imitation game. I don't know if you have seen this movie. Because this imitation game is a movie which came on Alan Turing's life. Okay? And it was, I think, released just before Corona, 2018 or 19. So, Alan Turing, so the test is like this. You ask questions to two entities. So, this is the person who is asking the question. There are two entities. One is a human, and another is AI. Okay? You receive answers from both. If you can't tell which entity is human and which is AI or which is a computer program, then you are fooled. And we consider that computers are intelligent than this person, right? Because this person is getting fooled by the computer. Right? So now you ask questions and you get the answer, right? And you don't know whether the answer is coming from human or is it coming from an AI. Then at that point, the computers have become intelligent than humans. Fair enough? See the year, 1950, not new. Okay, we thought that AI was new. Enough? Okay. So what does AI do? So AI falls into two categories typically. The first category is we want a specific problem to solve. These are called as expert systems. Okay? So study the problem, how humans solve it, come up with a representational knowledge, and acquire and codify that. So what do we mean by that? So what we mean is that, let's say, everyone knows what is a pathology lab, right? In pathology lab, if you test for sugar or you test for, say, white blood corpuscles, red blood corpuscles, or anything else, right? There is always a chart given along with the report. Have you seen the report? Right? So if your sugar is between, let's say, pre-meal sugar is between 60 or below, it is too low. 60 to 120, it is okay. Right? Then 120 and 1 to 150, it is marginal diabetes. 150, 300, it is diabetes. 300 and above, severe diabetes. Right? So there is a chart given. Right? If the number is given, Now this number and this table lookup can be done by computer, and it will know that where it is falling, what is whether let's say it is 156, then it knows that it is falling between 150 and 300. It will flag that this is a diabetic, pre-diabetic or diabetic. Yeah. So one of the many successful solutions of these expert systems were in pathology diagnosis. So you give blood sample and you get back the report, which is automated. Just tell the numbers and it will give these things, right? So these were all expert systems. Expert systems were very well used in finding the fault, right? So if you are a chemical company and suddenly you are manufacturing some acid and that acid is not coming out to be of the certain quality, or you are a company which is manufacturing, say, the cloth threads, right, nylon threads, and these nylon threads are not having sufficient strength, or they are not having the proper color, then what might have gone on? So instead of asking the experts, you codify the experts' knowledge and immediately find a solution. Okay, this particular chemical is less or more, or the temperature today is more, so you have to come the temperature. So these are all expert systems. So expert system meaning that whoever is the expert, you replace that expert with the computer system. It will always be a case like this. So if then, right? So if the color of the nylon thread is not yellow and you wanted yellow, but it is say bluish, then you add this thing. This was means. So you have this kind of if-then kind of scenario, right? If the blood sugar is below 100, then you're fine. But above 60, you're fine. You're not diabetic, right? So these are if conditions. So you have several of these if conditions put together, and you get what is the expert system, right? So these were very popular. Okay? But now after 2005, we are seeing a lot of activity happening in machine learning. So what is machine learning? Machine learning basically you theorize a way to solve the problem, use experiments and data to build systems based on that model. Okay? So you take lot of experiments and then you do. So let's say if you want to do handwriting recognition. So what you do is that so you take several of the people who have written. So if you see when you write an A and she writes an A, it will be different, slightly different, right? Everyone knows that. Right? Everyone's handwriting, you can make out who has written this. Right? Why? Because there is slight differences. Right? But if you print, they are all same. But if you write, it is different. So what you do is that you take hundreds of such A's, thousands of such B's. Okay? And then you say that you see this is an A, this is a B. And there might be some vague areas. Like someone might write in small e like small c. And when you write cursive, you might write small e. Then you take the context. So you take the letters before this. Okay. If you are writing SEEC, then it might be that it is an E, that's not a C. Right? So you take the context into account. So this is what machine learning is. Now, how can be useful? So one of the things that we have worked on is like you have land records. Land records मतलब जब आप खरीदी बिक्री करते हो, right? So you have some agreement, but earlier these agreements were done on with hands, right? There are lot of these land records in NMC, NIT. There is the authority like Nagpur Municipal Corporation, Nagpur Improvement Trust. They are written in hand. Now you scan that and then you figure out what this is, right? So that tomorrow if you want to search, it becomes easier if it is digitized. Otherwise, you will have to go to the office, take out those files, and find everything. Yeah. So what happens is that, and many times these land records get changed. एक बड़ा plot था, उसको छोटा छोटा करके small small plots में बदल दिया. एक छोटा प्लॉट था, इसके घर था, उसमें बिल्डिंग आ गई, 6 लोग रहने लगे. Right? This happens, right? You know that. So this lot of things get changed. So if you go to the office, you might have to search multiple places. But if it is digitized, every information you will get at one place. So digitization helps, it saves time, it saves efforts. So machine learning comes into play here. You want to recognize the hand symbols, right? And then you want to, instead of scanning now, you you convert that into text so that now you can search. Yeah. So this is all is possible. Everyone with me? Any questions till now? Okay. So here is an example search. So this is a game playing. Have you all done tic-tac-toe? Right. So you play with X and Z. So in the first, so initially it is empty, right? You can make 9 moves in the first X. Once you make a first move, right? The second move again has, so the first move was made here. Okay? So first move was made here. Now you have again 9 moves for the zero, 8 moves for the zero, right? Then once that 0 is put in, then you have 7 moves for the next X, right? So let's say this was chosen by the computer, this you played, right? Then the computer will go on looking what are the possible choices others might put in, and then it can put in. And then it will try to see where I should put so that my chances of winning are high. Because everyone will end at some place where either there is a draw or there is one or the other wins. Right? So it will try to see which are the maximum wins, and then it will play that. And this search can be very fast done by computers because this all can be stored. Right? Okay. So this is an example search. This is another example search. So if you want to solve this, you know how to solve this. You must have seen this, right? Arrange everything in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is jumbled up now. So it will basically say how many moves are possible. And in possible moves, so it wants to do it in minimal number of moves. So it will search the entire space. Now you know what is search? Everyone? So search meaning that you create all the possibilities and then search in that possibility, which is the easiest, smallest, optimal. So you may have different criteria, right? Based on that criteria, you search. So this part is a search. Second is clustering, right? Clustering means that you want to identify similar kind of things. So this is a graph, and you want to identify 5 different clusters. Okay, and now the definition is that any point is colored in that color which is closest to the center of that cluster. Okay. So this point is closer to this and not closer to this. So this is colored in blue. All these are blue because they are closer to this point and not closer. Everyone fine? Right? So there are various techniques of this. Clustering again helps in multiple ways. Okay. So typically the advertisement that you see in Google is clustering the major success. So which kind of advertisement should be shown to the person? So you find out different properties. So you guess from the previous history what that person might be interested in. And then you say that, okay, earlier these people have of this kind have purchased this thing, so let me show this thing to you. Okay. Similarly, Netflix. How many people use Netflix? Netflix सबको पता है क्या नहीं? Right? Okay. So Netflix में or any other thing, like any other movie thing, you'll see that once you see a movie, you will get more recommendations. How those recommendations are given? Because if someone is interested in that movie and who has seen from first to end, that means that you are interested in that movie, has also seen other similar movies. So you are categorized, clustered that you all like horror movies. These people all like crime movies. These people like cartoons, right? Animations. Okay? And then those kind of recommendations come. Okay? Some people like Oscar winning movies, only Oscar winning. That might be in different categories, but I like only Oscar winning movies. है ना ऐसा रहता है ना So this is the cluster. Okay, so that is how it is done. Then this is classification. So you want to classify, right? I am an insurance agent and I have only 5 calls I can make in a day. Whom to make calls? People with money, people with right? So those kind of things you classify. I will only make calls to these people and not these people. Right? You do classification every time. And when you go to classes, some of the students are classified as high IQ, high performers, right? And then they are given special treatment, right? So you discrimination, but then why this happens? Because you want to classify so that you have limited resources. You want to use those resources effectively. So you classify, right? So, for example, if you want to call it's your birthday, say, will you call everyone? You classify. Yes, I'm just taking a name, but I'm just telling anybody from you. Right, you will classify because you have limited resources. Your house has limited capacity. You don't want to spend limited money. You don't want to spend 5 lakh rupees on your birthday, right? So it's a limitation. So you have resources, you classify. This happens every time. Can you teach computers to classify? That is another problem. Humans classify every time. So that is another problem. So we see that search, clustering, classification are the major AI themes. We teach, we do it, we play games, we make strategies, right? We do inherently we do search, we do classifications, we do clustering. Right? That is AI. So this is basically machine learning. So we teach machines to learn, and when machines learn, together the effect that they give is we see that the computer has become intelligent. That is it. Fair enough. Any questions till now? Yeah, please go ahead.
So, first of all, I would like to thank you, sir, for guiding us with this information. Sir, no doubt, sir, AI has benefited us from all sources, from technology to science and everything. Even ISRO, the leading space research organization that has made India so popular, that has made India all over popular, use AI. Even a Gaganyaan mission, which will be possible, will be guided by an artificial intelligent woman that is named as Mitra. So no doubt that AI is helping, but in some category, I feel that AI is overtaking jobs, sir. No doubt that AI is giving jobs, but as you have said that DALI, that feature that you have said, sir, even chat GPTs, I have read an article where it stood that they have been taking up the jobs of the photographers that have been hardworking, and since ChatGPT and these all things can rectify image and make them more accurate, people prefer that. So nobody is preferring photographers; they are preferring these things. So I think that even the qualification skills of the people are coming down that way. That's how affecting means AI is affecting their lives too. So what do you think about that, sir? I would like you to guide us.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, so jobs obviously are affected. They are not denying that. But then new jobs also get created, right? जो यूट्यूबर्स है ना, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स है, यूट्यूब पे, ट्विटर पे, आप फॉलो करते हो किसी को? करते होंगे, राइट? कितने पैसे कमाते हैं? पहले पॉसिबल था? No, right? How many of Indian tutors teach American students, European students? Very possible था. So new jobs get created, okay? Old ones die. So ये तब भी हुआ था when the machines were introduced to yarn, cotton, and workers were replaced with the machines. So it happened from that time. This is not new. Okay, a lot of jobs were lost. Okay, and Britain was one of the big countries, and you must be studying history. You also should also study the economics behind British imperialism. Like one of the things that brought them up was cotton mills and railway line, that is steam engine. Right? A lot of cotton used to get exported from India and cloths used to get imported, right? And फिर वो विदेशी कपड़ों की बोली वगैरह वो आपने देखा होगा, but it had a lot of economic reasons also. Right? So you see that old jobs get destroyed, new get created. Okay? जब ये ऑनलाइन बैंकिंग है, कितने सारे लोग काम कर रहे हैं, है ना? How many times your parents used to visit banks earlier? How many times they do now? Hardly any time, right? पहले तो कितना टाइम जाता था, जाओ बैंक में, फिर लाइन रहेगी, बैठो, पैसा डालना है, निकालना है. All that time is saved. They spend time with you. If they don't spend that time with you, then you should complain. Mostly they will be spending time, that extra time in their phones, right? So, so remind them that this extra time is for us, not for the phone. Okay, so things have simplified, and why this simplification is that all parents, all humans, all of you want your life to be easier. Washing machine is better than people washing the clothes, right? AC, we are sitting here comfortably. This is machine. Earlier, you would have sat in a very, very different environment. So all these machines were invented. So that, but then AC technicians, all these things is happening on internet. All this, so you need new skills to acquire. Okay. So skills will be. So how many people believe that climate change is happening while we are spending a lot of energy? You all strongly believe it? Should we switch off the ACs now? Because ACs consume a lot of energy. Yes? So you see, sometimes our thought process is in conflict with the comfort that we have. Okay? So you need to think critically. This age will reward only those who not only possess the skills to do things, but who can think critically. Okay? What I'm doing and what I'm believing, is it, and what I'm doing, is it in sync? Okay? You believe in climate change and rarely go by stairs. Take the lift. You believe in climate change, but you want to travel by car or by scooty or something. You will not take a bicycle. Right? So you see that there is conflict. What you believe, what you do, can you critically defend that? Okay? Right? अच्छा मैं एक सवाल पूछता हूँ. आप जो खाना खाते हो पैकेट में से, जो पैकेट लेके आते हो, लेज है, उसके ऊपर लिखा रहता है 3 महीने तक चलेगा. Right? Good for 3 months, 6 months. Right? That means that even the bacteria will not eat that. Right? Low-lying creatures will not eat that. Why do you eat that? है ना? So वो खराब नहीं होगा क्योंकि ना बैक्टीरिया, ना यीस्ट, ना फंगस उसे खाएगा. तो तुम क्यों खाते हो? है ना critical thinking वाला question है कि नहीं? Okay, so we'll go ahead. So there are a lot of problems with AI, right? So AI systems perform well up to a certain threshold, right? 2000 rules as of now. But after which the accuracy and efficiency decreases a lot. A lot of work is happening. AI programs systems are programmed to solve specific problems. You move from that area, it doesn't work. Okay? It has lack of common sense. Okay? So lack of real-time performance. It takes a lot of time to decide. It has lack of creativity. Okay? So you see that these are all things that are there. It has no sense of temporality, like what happened before, what happened next. Very now that is getting addressed. Learning times greatly vary. You might require 2 days, 5 days, 10 days to learn things. Okay. There is no way to tell whether an AI system knows things or how it knows things. No capacity to explain itself. So there is no way why this output has come. Is unaware of ethics and morals of humans. Okay. AI solution paired with an AI solution doesn't know whether this is an AI solution or a human given solution. Okay. So there are a lot of problems. These are all active research interests. Some of them are getting solved, some of them may take time. But, so typically, you see that these AI applications look like this. So it has you train an agent, okay, which basically senses an environment. The sensors sense the environment, and then this agent has been trained to take some actions. So there are some actions which it takes. Okay. So the AI applications typically that we are aware of is gameplay, autonomous vehicles, or as autonomous driver assistance systems. So it was in Tesla earlier, but now there are many cars in India that are also assisted. XUV 700 is one. The latest Honda City is another. So you see that a lot of cars are having. So the car will drive itself. You must have seen face and fingerprint recognitions, Aadhaar, phone unlock, recommendation systems, online ads, Google search. Designing tests for students nowadays happens using AI. Logistics, inventory management, right? You want to uh, so you want to send something to certain places. How you will send that, right? So healthcare, early diagnostic, COVID planning, in the sense that which interventions to take. So modeling you can do, simulation you can do, and find out that if you have some interventions like mask mandates or closure of certain areas, yes, then COVID was better. Obviously, robots. This is the Sony Zygo, Pragyan rover. These are all robots. They are autonomous vehicles. They sense the surroundings and then they decide. I don't know if you have seen a video of Pragyan rover where it avoids a crater. If it had gone into the crater, it could have got stuck. It could have then could not have. So खड्डे गिर जाता. It had avoided that crater by going around it. How do you identify a crater, right? So there is a great author called as Asimov. I don't know if you read his books, his Cosmos and other things. You should read that. Okay? So Isaac Asimov is a great writer. He has defined these laws for robots. A robot will not injure a human. It will obey the orders and protect itself. these three rules are followed, then a robot is beneficial to humans. Okay. So uh, I would suggest you think about or to see a movie. Is basically 1967 movie by Stanley Kubrick, and name I'm forgetting. Director is Stanley Kubrick, and it's a space travel movie. So, how they imagined AI in 1967? We have not reached that stage yet. Okay, we are not having space travel. 2001, a space odyssey. The movie name is 2001, a space odyssey. So they imagined in 1967 that humans will actually do space travel by 2001. We are 23. Still no space travel. And doesn't look like it will be next 20, 25 years as well. Right? So, okay. So, future of AI applications is manufacturing, industrial automation, transportation, autonomous vehicles we are seeing, healthcare, education, virtual assistants, change the work, security and privacy. So, a lot of areas are there, okay, where we will see AI changing the things. Okay? And obviously, some work will go away, some work will come. I wanted to see this drawing, right? So this is how. So he is complaining that he is missing an order. So this robot was serving it. He says that this is a bigger robot. He handle complaint. You want to complain, complain to him. Looking at him, they are not going to complain, right? So this is how it is. Okay, I think I just mentioned this. So there is a concept called as super intelligence or singularity, which basically will mean that machines will become more intelligent than humans, and then humans will not be needed. Okay? And I don't know, I will ask you to see another movie now. Its name is Matrix, Matrix. Matrix is difficult to understand because it has AI, it has religion, it has social science, it has robots, it has space travel, it has virtual reality, artificial realities, a lot of areas. So, but I will urge you, whatever way you can look at it, understand that matrix. And in matrix, uh, so this exactly happens. Okay, and it was coined in 1958. If you see the year, I'm giving the year by John von Neumann, who has designed the modern computers. And the computer design has not changed for last 75, 80 years now. The same. Okay? And Ray Kurzweil, who is one of the things, he says that 2005 book he has written, Singularity is Near, predicts that it will happen in 2045. Okay, so you can read this book as well, Singularity is Near. Okay, so it is based on this fact that Gordon Moore, who was head of Intel you know, right? Intel is a company. So here he predicted that the computing will be faster by a factor of 2 every 2 years. Every 2 years, it will improve by the factor of 2. So if you see, this side is a linear scale. So this side is a linear scale. And this side is an exponential scale. Okay? So this is not, so here every point, if you see, is at a distance of 5 years. Here as well as here. Here you see that this point and this point has a distance of 10, but this point and this point has 990, right? So each point is further placed. Okay. This point to this point, it is 10 raised to 3. This to this is 10. So you see that this point to this point, 100 of these will come in between. Right? So that's the exponential scale. You all agree? You all understood that? So if you would have drawn in this way, this curve would have gone like this. Right? Would have been infinite. So that's why we are drawing it in an exponential scale. So here see that these are all the, I don't know if you are reading this, this is the analytical engineering, which was the mechanical engineering which used to do computation. This was designed in 1900. Okay. And then computation has started here, this IC, that is integrated chips era, and this is the GPU and TPU era that we are seeing. So you see that earlier it used to take, for one computation, it used to take 10 raised to 9 seconds. Now 10 raised to 9 computations can happen in 1 second. Okay. So this side is computation per second per dollar, that many things can get. Okay, so I think we'll look at this slide. Here you see the history of Earth, where you had earlier RNA, DNA. Now we are having a biodigital fusion. We are using lot of technology to get with our life. Right? Technology is integrated with our life. Right? Okay. So we trust the anti-lock brakings in car, the autopilots in plane. Right? Planes, once they reach a certain height, are put on autopilot. The plane runs by itself. Okay? Unless there is a turbulence or there is a landing or takeoff, the manual thing is switched off. Automatically done. Right? So that is called as autopilot. So see that we trust AI now. AI is now into our everyday life. Okay, so in 1996, Gary Kasparov built Deep Blue. Deep Blue was the name of the machine, which was built by IBM. And 1997, Kasparov lost a rematch to a bigger computer. Okay, remember that Kasparov was the world number one from 85 to 2000. Okay, for 15 long years. So is this an advance in AI or is it an advance in sheer computation? Actually, the Deep Blue 2, to which the Kasparov lost, used similar heuristics, but had more CPU. I don't know. Can we get his sound here?
Do not use Microsoft Excel without watching this video, because by using the world was paying a lot of attention and we weren't. It was probably the biggest news coverage for a chess match ever. We were trying to prove that it was possible to build a chess machine that could be the best player in the world.
It wasn't challenging Kasparov in any way. I mean, he's the pinnacle of chess. He's incredible genius.
There were people who, even just a few years before, said it was going to take decades to do.
The chess world all expected Kasparov to win because the human had always won before.
We worked very hard in the intervening year to improve Deep Blue in various ways.
I spent a lot of time in the office playing a lot of practice games, looking for lots of errors that needed to be fixed.
And we were pretty confident that it would do better.
When we got to the match, that was the chance to see, did we make a difference?
He was under tremendous stress, I imagine. The program wasn't behaving the way he was expecting.
He thought that he was going to figure out the computer.
And he wasn't mentally prepared for it, I think.
I mean, the whole game was surreal. What was he doing? It didn't really make any sense.
Whoa! Deep Blue has instantly sacrificed with Knight captures E6.
Deep Blue was just sitting there and just keep on attacking, just moving pieces around. And he knew it was in trouble.
But at the end, Kasparov he stands up, he starts gesturing, he looks over at his mother. I think having your mother in the room where you're playing an important chess game is not a great idea, as much as I love my mom.
I was dumbfounded and elated at the same time. I was dumbfounded because I never see him behave that way. He never imagined the world champion and actually somebody I have great respect to be just raising his hand up in surrender.
We demonstrated that there are multiple approaches to solving probably any intellectual problem.
But back then it wasn't the case. Everybody would look at the computer and say, well, yeah, it's good at some things, it calculates, but it doesn't understand anything.
I worked on this for 12 years. So you can imagine how much energy we're going into it. When I started, I was like, it was done in 5-10 years. I was wrong. It took 12. So I was glad it was over. Yeah.
Okay, so as we are discussing, we are coming to last slides. AI is now democratized. We have a lot of learning resources. We have open source tools. You don't have to code a lot of things. They are available on the line. Keras and so forth. A lot of data is available that is labeled and curated. There's a lot of memory that is available for cheap. A lot of computing power that is available. So AI still needs a lot of research because results in image processing are still fragile. IBM's Watson, another machine, big machine that IBM built, was touted for personalized medicines, but it sometimes gave incorrect advice. Google tried to commercialize AlphaGo, but did not succeed. Both Watson and AlphaGo were not a commercial success. And moreover, all the useful AI systems have high energy footprint, so it is not possible for everyone to use it. Okay. So we'll stop here. So thank you. I don't know if you can read this. I'll read for you. So Ravan, a 6-year-old chimpanzee, became 22nd most successful money manager in the USA after choosing her stocks by throwing darts at the list of 133 internet companies. The chimp created her own index dubbed Monkey Dex and in 1999 delivered a 213% gain and in outperforming more than 6,000 professional brokers on Wall Street. Okay. So she quadrupled the performance of the Dow, which is an index, and doubled the performance of the Nasdaq Composite, which is another index. Okay. So what you see here is we are competing against human intelligence, but is this better than a game of chance? Right? So where does the AI stand now? Lot of questions, lot of research happening, lot of new insights are getting. Okay. So welcome to the post-AI world now, but rather post-simple AI world. It's going to be more complex AI down the line. And obviously, new jobs will be created, old jobs will be destroyed. It's a creative discussion which we have. So get ready for the future. Thank you. So questions, comments? Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Are you understand? Understood. Who is? You are AI expert. Yes. Yeah.
So good afternoon. My name is Kunal Girao. I would like to ask a question. Now we see that AI develop like humans. It has capacity to behave like humans. So is AI attack to human in future? Is in other words, is AI become dangerous for human in future? Please guide us.
Okay, so as of now, we don't see that happening anytime soon, and because there are a lot of checks and balances, there are a lot of checks and balances which are being put in. So, so all the capabilities are tested before the AI is unleashed in the wild. So you just don't build an AI or say, even like for example, the Tesla is not just that you put that in the wild, right? You start driving it, but then you always have a lot of tests done. So a lot of it is run in various circumstances. It is run in various different environments. It is run in when it is raining, when it is tree light, when it is night, right? When there is a lot of traffic, when there are pedestrians crossing. So a lot of circumstances are generated, and then it is tested. And when it is certified by an external agency that this is acceptable behavior, only then it is put on board. Okay. So a lot of work goes behind before anything comes out. So this is possibly probably not possible. Anyone else?
Good afternoon, sir. Myself is Srijan from Kendriya Vidyalaya CRPF. So, as of you said that AI is going to become an inseparable component of our society in future. So, from your point of perspective, what are the initiatives that the government or the institute should take to make India lead the AI world?
That's a very, very loaded question. And I can't answer on behalf of the government. But yeah, government is taking a lot of steps. They may not be visible to you, but government is putting in a lot of efforts to do, like there is Startup India, Stand Up India initiatives. There are a lot of startups in AI are encouraged. There are many research grants which are given in this area. We are building new GPUs, CPUs, we are building new data centers, we are building new browsers. So a lot of things are happening, and even incentives are given to private companies for these initiatives. Like I don't know if you have heard Mukesh Ambani last PGM, just 5-7 days back. He has also said we'll build an AI which is compatible with ChatGPT. So a lot of things are happening. They will all burst into the scene once the products are ready, and then you will be surprised like ChatGPT ekdam se aa gaya. But the work goes on for 5, 7, 10 years, and then it is unveiled to the public when it is going to be safe and useful. So a lot of things are happening, and a lot of automation is happening. A lot of data is getting streamlined, and I think when you will join the workforce, you might be working in some of those areas in India itself. So a lot of things happen.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, my question is whether AI will replace the teacher in future.
Yes.
Means,
it's going to happen. So the thing is that there are two things that I just answer that because I'm also a teacher. So there are two things that happen when we do teaching learning. The first thing is that you do routine things. Okay. So when you do routine things, then for that that can be done by AI tutor. Okay. But when you need to do specific things for a student, for a person, okay, that time AI will not be that much useful because you have to understand how the person is responding and then you teach in that way. Okay. So, for example, all of you have been taught to learn mathematical tables, right? Enough. So, I will teach you one technique. Okay. So, consider my hands. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7. Now, if I want to do 7 into 7, how many fingers are folded? 4. If you multiply these, 3 into 3, 9. 49. Okay. 8 into 9. How many fingers are folded? 7. And 2 into 1? 72. Right? Do you need to remember tables now? 9 into 6. 5 folded. And 4 into 1. 54. Right? So if you remember only tables till 4, you can do everything. Don't need to remember other tables. You can find out from your fingers. So this technique, AI will never be able to find. This technique only teachers can tell. And there are many such techniques. It depends on people to people. Right? This technique is not fast. It might not be useful for your competitive exams. But definitely, if you have enough time, you can solve it by using your hands. Right? Now the question is, why does this work? Why does it give correct answers? And this is where mathematicians role comes in. If you are a good mathematician, you will have curiosity for all these things. Curiosity, analytical thinking are the things of future. These are the skills of future. You should cultivate that. Then you will be future proof as far as jobs are concerned. Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
Sir, we have seen a video on website that Sophia is saying that he will hack or control the nuclear power and will destroy the world. So can we say that AI is dangerous for us?
Okay. So nuclear powers are very, very well protected. So it is not that you press a button and it will fly. Okay. So there is a lot of complex command and control system for that. And though it is good for a movie or exciting emotions, right? Typically, this doesn't happen that way. Okay? So don't worry, AI is not going to kill you as of now. Okay. But you should see Matrix movie and 2001: A Space Odyssey. A lot of such discussions are there. A lot of such thought experiments have been done in those movies. Okay. I think this is the last question we'll take.
Sir, you have mentioned biothermometers in beginning. So can you explain about it?
Bioinformatics. Okay. So bioinformatics is a branch of biology and mathematics. Okay. So it's a mixture of these two. So how can biology and mathematics be mixed? One of them is like computer science has gained from biology. Like we saw about neural networks, which are basically the base for a lot of artificial intelligence techniques. But biology is also gained from mathematics. So how? So one of the prediction program of how COVID will evolve how many beds will require, how many hospitals will require. That program was called as Sutra. It was designed in IIT Kanpur. Okay. So Sutra was giving in Nagpur how many cases will be there in July 2001, how many cases will be in August 2001, how many cases will be in Delhi in August 2001, how many overall cases in India will be there, and it matched with more or less with the case loads that we saw. So what is the advantage here is that we can be prepared. We can run this in the future, right? Second, a lot of diagnosis nowadays, okay, can be done using AI tools. Okay. Many a times nowadays, like for example, there is an Archimedes system, which many of the hospitals purchase. So which tells, given a patient, heart patient, should we go in for a surgery? Should we go in for medicine? Should we go in for some other interventions? So what kind of interventions we should have? What kind of treatment should we have? Okay, what kind of regimen should we have? So that, because it has been trained on millions of heart patients data. It gives a project possible way of doing things. Okay. Then using your DNA can predict what kind of diseases can happen to you, because you might have certain genes which are not in a proper that. So there are many genetic diseases which can happen, right? You might be disposed to cancer or diabetes. So cancer, diabetes, heart problems, blood pressure, you see that they are all systemic diseases. They are not caused by any organism which comes into your body and attacks. Your body's reaction to certain things causes the disease, right? So if you have your DNA sequence, which is, so can you read your DNA and find out whether you need to do more exercise so that you don't get diabetes? So this is happening, and Reliance has purchased Strand Genomics. So Strand Genomics was founded by some IIT Bombay professors, and Reliance has purchased this company in 2023 in February, and they have come up with this DNA machine which will read your DNA sample and give you, and they plan to have it by next AGM, that is next July. They plan to give it, market it, and the cost will be 12,000 rupees per person. Okay, so 12,000 rupees is now, you can do it one time, and you have to just do it one time in your life. So it will be affordable. So you see that will change the way we look at ourselves, our bodies, our medications, and plan for future. So you see that a lot of things are happening in biological domain, which are affecting us directly or indirectly. So this I am talking about it, but drug designing, how do you design a drug? That has a lot of computational aspects. That is being done by computers. How does new drug come into the market? A lot of those drugs are designed by computers, because they need a specific structure, only then they will get absorbed in the body. So the thing is that, so I think I have answered your question, right? Okay. So thank you all. Stop here for today, and I hope you enjoyed the things. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Actually, बायोइन्फॉर्मेटिक्स सर ने बताया और बाकी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, तो ऐसा है कि जो हमारा ये कार्यक्रम है, जो इवेंट है, ये जैसा मैंने पहले बताया कि जो नेशनल्स है अभी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस पे काम करना चाह रहे हैं, और हम भी उस पर प्रोग्रेस करना चाह रहे हैं, जो हमारा गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का मिशन है। तो आप लोगों का जो 8वीं 9वीं 10वीं में है अभी, तो बहुत प्रॉपर एज है आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस पे समझना, और इस पे जो भी आपकी इंजीनियरिंग हो, बायोलॉजी, जिस पे भी आप काम करेंगे, हर एक में इसका एप्लीकेशन होगा, है ना।
तो लेकिन मैं एक कहना चाहूंगा कि जो अभी वरीज आई है, जैसे टीचर्स ने बताया, एक रेस किया क्वेश्चन के टीचिंग जॉब या फिर स्टूडेंट्स भी चैट जीपीटी, इसमें ऑलरेडी डिबेट शुरू हो गया है। आप देखेंगे कि काफी कंट्रीज में इस पे डिबेट शुरू हो गया है। मैं आपको याद दिलाना चाहूंगा इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, शीप एक डॉली बनी थी, आपको याद होगा 1990s में, तो क्लोनिंग में हुआ था जब डेवलपमेंट, तो ऐसा ही कुछ था। तो बहुत सारे नेशंस आगे हैं क्लोनिंग पे, क्योंकि हमारे जो एग्जिस्टेंस पे एक डेंजर था उसमें क्लोनिंग से, क्योंकि कुछ भी कहीं भी क्लोनिंग से कुछ आप डेवलप कर सकते थे, चाहे नहीं हो चाहे। तो उसमें लगा कि भाई ह्यूमन से बड़ा तो कोई नहीं है यहाँ पे। तो मुझे लगता है कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ लॉयर्स बहुत अच्छे अच्छे हैं, और ऐसा नहीं है कि साइंस तो सारी डिसिप्लिन जो है एक साथ काम करती है, और जब भी तो ऑलरेडी काफी कंट्रीज में इस पे डिबेट शुरू हो गया है, और मुझे लगता है एथिक्स किसी भी रिसर्च में, किसी भी डेवलपमेंट बहुत बड़ा एक इम्पोर्टेंट इशू है। तो जो भी ह्यूमन के लिए इथिकल होगा, अगर उसके सर्वाइवल पे या उसके खतरे में, मतलब लाइफ पे कोई भी अगर डेंजर आएगा, तो लॉ बीच में आएगा। हमारे यहाँ सुप्रीम कोर्ट है, हाई कोर्ट है, इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट है। तो ऐसा ये मत मान के चलिए कि इससे डेंजर है, हमेशा मान के चलिए कि जो भी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस जिससे सोसाइटी का भला होगा, समाज का भला होगा, सबका भला होगा, वही चीज होगी, क्योंकि लॉ सबसे ऊपर है ना, साइंस से भी ऊपर लॉ है। तो जो, इसलिए मैंने डॉली का एग्जांपल दिया आपको, जो शिप हुई थी और क्लोनिंग पे बैन आया। उसके नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल है जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाइड क्रॉप्स, है ना, जो ब्रिंजल का नहीं हो पाया और फिर रेजिस्टेंस था फार्मर्स से, है कि नहीं? वो पता है ना जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाइड क्रॉप्स वगैरह। तो जब भी इस तरह का होता है डेवलपमेंट, लॉ आता है, लेकिन हम डेवलपमेंट रोक नहीं सकते। अगर अदर कंट्री कर रही है, देखिए होगा तो सबके लिए होगा, यूएसए के लिए होगा, यूके के लिए होगा, इंडिया के लिए, सबके लिए कॉमन होगा। क्योंकि क्लोनिंग में ऐसा नहीं हुआ फिर कि यूएसए आगे बढ़ गया और कोई कंट्री पीछे रहेगी, तो सबके लिए नहीं हुआ, वो यूनिफॉर्म था, यूनिवर्सल था। वैसा ही आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में जो भी होगा वो डिबेट्स होंगे और लॉ अपना काम करेगा। जहां भी ह्यूमन एग्जिस्टेंस पे खतरा आएगा या कहीं सोसाइटी पे कुछ भी हार्म आएगा, क्योंकि बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस है, इसलिए मैं इसका आंसर दे रहा हूँ, तो लॉ विल टेक इट्स ओन कोर्स, नो एक्शन, है ना। तो आपको डरने की जरूरत नहीं है, आपको सिर्फ अपना काम करना है और सोसाइटी के इंटरेस्ट में करना है। अभी से इसका कोई हवा नहीं बनाना मन में कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस आपकी कोई खतरे की काम है। आपको आगे बढ़ना है इसके साथ, और जो भी इसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस है वो लॉ विल टेक इट्स ओन एक्शन, ठीक है। तो मेरे ख्याल से ये जो डेंजर है उसका मैंने आंसर आपको दे दिया है। और बाकी सारे स्टूडेंट जो है, तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को आप देखिए कि सोसाइटी, समाज में इसको कैसे अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, जो सर ने बताया, ठीक है। तो इसी के साथ मैं भी, हमारे निदेशक महोदय आ गए हैं, और मैं उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि हमारे जो आज के रिसोर्स पर्सन है उनको मेनू को देके उनका जो है उनको ऑनर करें। सर समाप्त करने से पहले कुछ कंक्लूडिंग, बिकॉज़ आपके स्टूडेंट्स आपके क्लियर है।
चलो पहले आना चाहता था लेकिन दूसरे कार्यक्रम में व्यस्त होने से नहीं आ पाया। मेडिकल की एक्सपर्ट है, एनआईटी से है, अगर संस्था है एनआईटी, सबको मालूम है। इसमें कंप्यूटर साइंस इंजीनियरिंग सबसे अच्छा डिपार्टमेंट माना जाता है, आजकल हर जगह वही माना जाता है। और उन्होंने बहुत, मैं जितना सुनता है काफी सरल भाषा में, जितना आसान करके है। मैं आपसे सब बच्चों से, क्योंकि आपको आगे चलना है, हमारा शायद आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस से मेरा संबंध आने का चांसेस कम है और आपका बहुत आने वाला है। 3 चीजें मैं बताना चाहूंगा जिससे आपने ये दिल में हर आदमी ने मानना है, बच्चों ने, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इज नॉट अ थ्रेट। ये थ्रेट इसलिए नहीं है कि आप उसके ऊपर हो। कितने लोग मानते हैं कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस से आदमी बड़ा है, आदमी से एआई बड़ा है? कितने लोग मानते हैं? एआई किसने डेवलप किया है? सो आप उसके ऊपर। अगर आप बोलते हो कि ऊपर वाले ने हमें बनाया तो ऊपर वाला हमारे ऊपर ही रहेगा हमेशा, वैसे हमने जो चीज बनाई इसके ऊपर ही हम आगे रहेंगे। दूसरी बात,
एक आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, अभी कॉस्पर और इसका मैच दिखा है, इसमें किसी ने गौर किया? अभी मत कीजिए, आगे चल के कीजिए। एक कंप्यूटर बनाने में 1000 ब्रेन्स लगे थे। एक कंप्यूटर एक आदमी नहीं बनाता है, एक प्रोग्रामिंग एक आदमी नहीं बनाता, इतने बड़े प्रोग्राम करते हैं 1000 ब्रेन लगते हैं, तब एक प्रोग्राम बनता है इस टाइप का। ये उससे भी जरा मुझे मालूम है, साफ बता सकते हैं। खेल रहा कौन? एक आदमी खेल रहा है। मतलब आप एक ब्रेन हजारों ब्रेन से खेल रहे हैं, उसमें डरने की बात है। एक ब्रेन हार गया तो उसमें दुखी होने की बात नहीं, क्योंकि हजारों ब्रेन उससे खेल रहे हैं। अगर अभी आप सब बच्चे अगर मेरे से मस्ती करने लगे और मैं हार जाऊंगा, आप मुझसे छोटे हो फिर भी मैं हार जाऊंगा, क्योंकि आप सब माउंट में आ गए। ये दूसरी चीज है। इसलिए हमेशा आदमी का इंटेलिजेंस एआई के ऊपर है। एआई जिसने बनाया, 1000 लोगों ने बनाया, मैं अकेला उससे लड़ता हूँ जब भी लड़ने का मौका आता है। इसलिए अपने इंटेलिजेंस पे भरोसा रखिए, वो कभी छोड़ना नहीं। ये छोड़ना नहीं है, इसका मतलब है कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के जितने अच्छे फायदे हैं वो जरूर लेने हैं, लेकिन इसको दिमाग में रखिए, इसका इस्तेमाल करना शुरू करिए। इसका दूसरा कारण बताता हूँ कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस जितनी अवेलेबल मेमोरी है, जितना अवेलेबल टेक्निक है, उसको सारा के सारा इस्तेमाल करके आप उसको यूज कर रहे हैं। मतलब आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की जो भी मशीन है, तो जो भी गैजेट है, वो उसके अवेलेबल सारे सोर्सेस यूज करता है। हम अपने ब्रेन का कितना पार्ट यूज करते हैं, किसी को मालूम है? ब्रेन बहुत हो गया, 5 से 7% ऐसा बताया जाता है। 93% ब्रेन आपका इस्तेमाल नहीं होता है, और 7% से 8% पे जाने के लिए आपको बहुत सोचना पड़ता है, बहुत सोचना पड़ता है। तो आप जितना आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस से खेलोगे, उतना आपके 7 से 8%, 8 से 9% जाने के चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं। तो उसे डरना नहीं, उसे खेलना है, उसको और नया आयाम देना है। और तीसरी सबसे अहम बात है जो हम लोग नहीं समझ पाते, जो आपको समझनी है। आर्टिफिशियल, सबने पता है, बड़ा अच्छा बताया स्लाइड में कि वेरी हाई फुटप्रिंट ऑफ एनर्जी, पता है ना? इसका मतलब आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को बहुत ज्यादा एनर्जी, ऊर्जा की मात्रा लगती है। मेरे एक ब्रेन को कितनी ऊर्जा की मात्रा लगती है? 2 वक्त की रोटी। मैं ठीक ठाक खाता हूँ तो पानी पीता हूँ, और मैं मेरी हेल्थ अच्छी है, और मैं सूरज की प्रकाश लेता हूँ, काफी है। इतने से मामूली एनर्जी में इतना बड़ा मेरा ब्रेन इतना काम करता है, और एक आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को ढेर सारी एनर्जी लगती है। तो आपका ब्रेन कभी भी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस से कम नहीं हो सकता है। आपको आपके ब्रेन को सही इस्तेमाल करना है। और जो डर आप लोगों ने बताया, एक ख्याल रखिए कि कोई भी चीज इस्तेमाल होती है, करने वाला आदमी रहता है, बनाने वाला आदमी रहता है। और जब तक हमारे दिल में अगर साफ करना हो, मैं मेरे पास बंदूक देने के बाद भी मैं बंदूक चलाऊंगा नहीं, क्योंकि मेरा मेरा दिल साफ रहता है, मैं नहीं चलाऊंगा। तो ये हमेशा अच्छा इंसान बनिए, बुद्धिमान इंसान बनाइए, अपने ब्रेन को इस्तेमाल कीजिए, कोई चीज से डरने की जरूरत नहीं। ठीक है? और ये आप लोग कर सकते हो, अगर आप छोटे हो। अब ये दिमाग में ये लेके चलो, उस हिसाब से आपका करियर बनाओ, आप जरूर कामयाब होंगे। आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के ऐसे 10 कंप्यूटर को आप हरा सकते हो। ठीक है? सो ऑल द बेस्ट।
सर थैंक यू, बहुत मैसेज दिया है आपको, बहुत बड़ा संदेश कि आप किस तरह से आपके हाथ में है लाइफ को ले जाना, आपके कैरियर को ले जाना, चाहे आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस हो, बायोटेक्नोलॉजी हो, कोई भी फील्ड हो। मैंने जैसे बिगिनिंग में बताया कि वो आपके हाथ में है। आपका जिसमें इंटरेस्ट है आप फ्री है करने के लिए। और साइंस में मैंने जैसे बताया बाउंड्री बिल्कुल नहीं है। हाँ, आप आईएएस बनेंगे तो बाउंड्री है, पहले मैंने बताया था। आईएएस बनेंगे तो आप रूल्स और गाइडलाइंस के फ्रेमवर्क में बंधे रहेंगे, लेकिन आप लैब में काम करेंगे तो आपको पूरा फ्रीडम है। आपको ये कोई नहीं पूछेगा कि आपने सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड क्यों यूज किया है, यूज किया, कोई आके देखेगा देखेगा क्या? नहीं देखेगा। तो ये चीज आपकी हमेशा रहेगी। तो साइंस में इतनी ताकत है क्योंकि प्रूवन फैक्ट होती है, आपको किसी से डरने की जरूरत नहीं है। नॉलेज क्रिएट होता है, सिर्फ क्रिएटिविटी और इनोवेशन, जो आपकी थिंकिंग है, आपकी अप्रोच है, आपके प्रैक्टिकल्स है, वो किस तरह से क्रिएटिव करते हैं, इनोवेटिव करते हैं, वो आपके हाथ में। और यहाँ पे भी आपका इंटेलिजेंस आता है ना, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस बाद में आता है, जैसे सर ने बताया। ह्यूमन सबसे ऊपर है क्योंकि आपने आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस बनाया है कि नहीं। तो समाज हित में करिए, लोगों के लिए करिए अपने काम, तो कभी कोई आपसे क्वेश्चन करेगा नहीं। थैंक यू। आप मेरे ख्याल से टीचर्स, आपका बहुत बहुत थैंक्स जो आप आए। और जो हमारा जिज्ञासा का कार्यक्रम है वो निरंतर चलता रहेगा, हम नए नए विषय लेते रहते हैं और स्टूडेंट से इंटरेक्ट करेंगे हम आगे भी। तो अभी सर इनका कार्यक्रम मतलब लैब विजिट्स वगैरह है, और फिर तो मैं यहाँ पे अभी स्टॉप करता हूँ। और हमारे जो रिसोर्स पर्सन है प्रोफेसर मनीष पुरेकर सर, उनसे भी मैं बहुत बहुत थैंक्स सर, आपने हमारा इन्विटेशन एक्सेप्ट किया। और निदेशक महोदय का भी मैं शुक्रगुजार हूँ, हमेशा बहुत मतलब सपोर्ट रहता है इनके कॉर्पोरेशन। और हम बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स करते हैं। अभी आने वाले दिनों में हमारा पूरा मतलब प्लान है कि स्टूडेंट्स को किस तरह से इन्वॉल्व करें। तो आप मैंने जैसे बताया प्रोजेक्ट्स में जो भी एनवायरमेंटल साइंस के प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाते हैं मैडम, आप लोग आप हमारी हेल्प जरूर लें। हम नेरी मतलब नेरी में है और एनवायरमेंट के फील्ड में काम करते हैं। हम चाहते हैं कि एटलीस्ट नागपुर जो प्रोजेक्ट्स के जो साइंस प्रोजेक्ट्स है एनवायरमेंट के जब भी बनाते हैं, दूसरे फील्ड में इंटरेस्ट होगा तो हम नहीं कर पाएंगे। जैसे आप स्पेस का कोई बना रहे हैं या कोई एग्रीकल्चर से रिलेटेड, लेकिन एटलीस्ट एयर पोल्यूशन का विषय है या फिर वाटर का है, वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट से है, तो आप नेरी की जो हेल्प उसमें जरूर लें, ताकि आपका जो मॉडल है वो इंटरेक्टिव बने, इनोवेटिव बने, क्रिएटिव बने, और जो नेशनल लेवल पे हो, स्टेट लेवल पे। लेकिन नेरी का आपके साथ भी हमारा नाम जुड़ेगा उसमें, मतलब एटलीस्ट हम मेंटर्स रहे या किसी को आपको थोड़ा सा वैल्यूएशन करने में हमने हेल्प की। तो आप लोगों के इसी के साथ कि आप हमारी कोऑपरेशन और सपोर्ट लेंगे आगे, तो मैं यहाँ पे अपना इस कार्यक्रम का इवेंट पर्टिकुलरली ऑडिटोरियम का, आपका तो कार्यक्रम आगे है, तो यहाँ पे मैं आपको जो है सबके थैंक्स के साथ और बॉटम ऑफ हार्ट के साथ यहाँ पे समाप्त करता हूँ, कंक्लूड करता हूँ। थैंक यू। एक मिनट आप, मैं सबसे अनुरोध करता हूँ कि राष्ट्रगान के लिए आप नेशनल एंथम के लिए खड़े
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा। तब शुभ नामे जागे, तब शुभ आशीष मांगे। गाहे तब जय गाथा, जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।